Welcome back to the Beyond Face Value Show. I'm Dr. Jill Wade, and today I'm excited because it is springtime. It is beautiful outside these days. We're finally getting back outside and enjoying this beautiful Texas weather. And I don't know about you, but spring cleaning is kind of fun for me. I go outside. I love to start cleaning up the yard and the porch so that we can enjoy it all summer long, out by the pool, having lunch, things like that. Also, it's about time to get in the garage as well to do some spring cleaning because I don't know, but I just kind of throw everything into the garage until it gets to be nicer weather. And then I get out there and organize it and put everything back in place again. I have a feeling you also do some spring cleaning, but today what I want us to talk about is something that you might not consider when you're thinking about spring cleaning, and that is our finances. Yes, I said it, money, finances. That's what we're going to talk about. Why is it, though, that money is such a weird thing to talk about? We just don't. It's like taboo. We'll sit around with friends and girlfriends and we'll talk about sex before we'll talk about money. It's the weirdest thing. I can't figure it out. There's either shame or fear or embarrassment about it. And it's just this weird thing that we don't talk about. Now, in dentistry, I have been around for quite a while. Been in dentistry for about, probably 30 years now. And in general, a lot of the dentists that since I've been growing up have been male. So it's been still a very male-oriented career. And so when I talk about business I still talk to a lot of men. And men do not have quite the same issue about talking about money as women do. They will talk about it. They will talk about how much they make. They will talk about how their business is doing, how much they're making, how much they're taking home, all the little toys and goodies that they just bought and how much they just bought, how they financed it, what the rate was. Did they get a good deal? They'll talk about investments. They'll talk about future investments, things they see that they want to invest in. They talk about it to other men. They get together, they join in together, and they do all this stuff together. Now, this is very different than what my conversations with my girlfriends sounds like. We sit around, we have fun, maybe with an adult beverage or something like that, but we have fun, we laugh a lot, we tell stories, we talk about our kids, we talk about our families, we talk about health, we talk about shopping, we talk about good deals, we might talk about food and grocery store stuff and recipes. But guess what we don't talk about? We might talk about sex, but we don't talk about money. We don't share about how much we make. We don't talk about what we are investing in. We don't talk about how much debt we might have. We don't talk about if we have stress related around money. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about spring cleaning your finances and how we're going to approach it. And I, at the end, am going to ask you to commit with me to clean up your finances. But let's have some fun about it. So I'm going to ask you a personal question. Do you know how much you are worth? Now, I know it's priceless, right? Because we're so much more than just money. All the things we contribute, all the things we contribute to our family, all the things that we contribute to our community and society. However, what I'm asking you is if I was going to ask you to write down on a piece of paper, what is your net worth? Could you do it? Could you even get close to it? Could you make a guess? Or do you actually have no idea? Well, I feel like when you know that number, or at least a general concept about that number, it gives you so much power. I talk about legacy all the time, and I'm going to teach you ways to get that power and to feel a way that you can be proud of living your legacy now and not just leaving one for your family down the road. So I've been in business for a really long time. And the one thing that I tell any new business owner or somebody that's struggling who's only been maybe 2 or 3 years out in their new business practice, usually dental practice for me, but what I say to them is, do you know your numbers? That's just it. It's that simple. Do you know your numbers? So this is really no different for family business than it is for a normal business, a dental office, somebody who maybe just owns a small mom and pop shop. But guess what? It's the same for even larger businesses too. They have groups of people. They have financial groups of people who that's all they do is watch the numbers, understand the numbers, have goals, and make sure that they're forecasting out and reaching those goals. So really getting down to what are your numbers and what kind of numbers do you need to be paying attention to? Now in the dental office, we call these goals sometimes, okay? So we have daily goals of a number that we try to hit. We not only have it for the overall office, but we even have it broken down per person in the office, per provider. What does the doctor need to provide? What do the hygienist need to provide? And then we look at that total number for the office, and we do that on a daily basis. We also do it for a weekly basis because we all know that not every single day is going to be as profitable as maybe another day. And so we can just even things out and have a weekly goal. We also look at our monthly goals and we look at our yearly goals. And the one thing I always am telling the team is, hey, here's the deal. The goals are just a barometer for how the business is providing service. It's the same thing for your household. Your goals, and if you're meeting them, and if you have enough money in the bank for the bills that you have and enough to do what you want to do, that's a barometer for how your finances are going. So there is one thing that we do not love when it comes to your health and well-being, and that is for you to be under an enormous amount of stress. And we've talked about it even here on the show, how detrimental stress can be to your overall health and well-being. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing, that financial stress inside a household can be one of the hardest, worst stresses that you can have. But it is overcomeable, right? I don't even know if that's a word, but you can overcome it. And we do that by not avoiding it. When you have a plan and you slowly but surely and consistently go after a plan, it actually reduces the stress of the family. Now, what causes some of this stress? I have found that there are definite personality traits about and around money and finances and how people think about it, how they feel about it, and what drives them to make it and to spend it. And guess what? Everybody's personality is not the same. There are different personality traits. And one of the upcoming shows, I'm going to invite my good friend, Kendall Summerhawk, who knows all about this. She has studied this for years, and she has some amazing things to share with you. And we're going to have so much fun learning about the different personality styles of finances and money. But here's what I'm going to share with you real quick, a little secret, is that if you constantly are having stress in your family, in your immediate family, or maybe even your extended family about money, it's because you and the other person or people have different traits, different personality traits about money. You see it differently, you feel it differently. And so while one person, I'll just kind of give you an example, while one person may be very, very frugal with their money and they want to save it. Now, they're not afraid to spend it, but they want to spend it on something that they've researched and that they feel very confident that they're getting the best deal that they can get and that everything's going to still be organized in the household, still have enough money left to put food on the tables, pay all the bills, and still have fun with, spending their extra money. But then we have maybe a wife who is super excited about just spending the money because she lives in the moment and she wants to spend it and she wants to have fun and she wants to have gifts and she wants to create memories. Those are two totally different personality styles. So as you can see, and you may even be feeling it at your own home, I don't know, but you can see how those two personality styles can really conflict each other and maybe create a lot of that financial stress in the household. But the great news is this: when you learn something, when you have the knowledge, when you understand one person's personality style and another person's personality style, and you're able to sit down together and discuss things, not be afraid to talk about finances, not have a big blow up because you didn't talk about it, and now you're just living in the results of what someone else did. Now you begin to do what larger companies and businesses do. They sit down and they're strategic. They're strategic about their finances. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm referring to spring cleaning. How about we just be strategic with our money? We've got to organize ourselves. Do you think the businesses come in and have this huge, disorganized, unfunctioning type of system in place in order to make their goals, be able to pay all of their employees and still have a profit if they have investors? No, they're very organized. So one of my first things for you is to ask you, are you organized? Do you have your stuff organized in a manner that other people, that you could show other people so that you could actually talk about things and create a strategy? I'm going to tell you that most people, that is a no. They may have filing cabinets where they file their invoices and their bills. They may have filing cabinets where they print off their bank statements and they have them in there. They have it organized just enough to, at the time for taxes to come in for the next year, that they can gather their paperwork, gather their QuickBooks, hand it off to the accountant, and let them file their taxes. That's the organizational aspect that they have. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. However, I'm asking you to have intention of cleaning up any messes that you may have that you're avoiding because you just don't want to deal with it right now, or you're just fearful that when you know the answer to how much am I worth, that you might not like the answer that you're getting. And that's okay too, because that's changeable. Because once you get a plan and then you create a system to get to your goals, it can be fun. And how's it going to be fun? So my suggestion to you is we're going to teach you along the way through the podcast and the show of how to create your own family boardroom. Doesn't that sound fun? Your own family boardroom. And the reason why this is going to be fun is because you're going to bring in everybody in your family to join into this project. It's not just going to be your project. It's not going to be just your big, scary, overwhelming organizational thing that you've got to do, just a new thing on your to-do list, another thing that you got to check off, the list. No, this is going to be a family project. Why? Because I kind of mentioned it a few minutes ago. This is about legacy. This is about getting your kids involved, getting your husband involved, or if you are a husband and you're listening, then getting your wife involved. Because in order to do this, you're going to get the whole family involved. And the reason why is because that is what's going to get you guys to learn, to have fun, to teach your kids so many important lessons about money. And then you can also move into being able to have a whole family, vision board. And where do you want to go on vacation? What do you want to do next? Do you want to have a big project in the backyard? Do you want to buy something together? Do you want to have a boat someday so that y'all can go out onto the lake and enjoy it and have fun with each other? That's what living your life is all about, right? Is what is your why? Now, if you're single, you've got a why. But if you start now getting organized, look at what you're going to have fun with when you do find that right person and you do begin your family. If you're a family right now that's having too much financial stress, it's overwhelming. Why not do something different and try to get together in a boardroom type of setting, which you can have as much fun with it as you can possibly create and imagine, and create this family boardroom. I'm going to help you. We've got some great tips and tricks all about it. And just be open for a few minutes to think about how you could do this at your home. I don't care if you're listening to this and you're a Fortune 500 CEO, okay? And you're thinking, I don't need to do this in my home. Why would you think that? You are this amazing leader, this CEO who has so much to share with your family so that they can learn from you and so that they can emulate what it is that you have learned through business. And who knows, maybe you are the world's greatest mom and you stay at home and you run the tip-top shape home. You got everything organized. Everything's amazing. Don't you want to share that with your kids and your husband as well so that really you are leaving that legacy that you want? Because I know that your why is your family. So in the family boardroom, we're going to teach you how to create a notebook where all of the good stuff is kept so that no matter who in the family needs that information, they're going to know exactly where to go and how to locate it. There's so many times that I talk to people who only one person in the family does all of the family business and the other person knows nothing about it, doesn't even know where anything is. This is not a good idea, girls and boys. It really is not. When we went on our trip to India last year in April, about 2 weeks beforehand, we realized that nobody knew where our wills were. Nobody would know how to take care of our kids, know what bills that we were paying, know how to get into any of our bank accounts. And all of the information that was in our heads or in our phones and in our safe places, nobody would have access to. So we made a very quick commitment to creating our family boardroom notebook to be as spectacular as it could possibly be so that everybody could join in and know where everything was. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to give you tools and tricks and some workbooks. And one of the things that is going to be included is also a vision board for each member of the family, which we redo every year around Christmas time. We kind of make a whole little family morning out of it. And that way people can have their goals and their vision board in front of them all year long. And then we also create a family vision board as well for what we see for the future of that year. So I just want you to commit to me. That's all I'm asking for at this point. Just commit to me that you are ready to do some spring cleaning on your finances. Go back into the house whenever you get a chance and at least get into that family office, clean it up a little bit, start to organize things so that you know what you need to find, put it in the right spot, and start making a list of anything that you start to think of as you've listened to this podcast and want to include into your family boardroom book. And on one of our next shows about money and finances, we're going to get started doing that together. Also, to help us grow and expand our reach, be sure to like and subscribe to this show on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you prefer. Just remember, it's time to live your legacy now. I'm Dr. Jill Wade, and this has been the Beyond Face Value Show. Until next time.